Blog show. Blog show.
Welcome to the Blog Show, your weekly sports blogging jam session. I'm your lead singer, Jamie Mottram, and as always, on the drums and backup vocals, Dan Steinberg.
And once again, we're going to be highlighting the gray matter that exists in the blogosphere in various shades. I've got my dark gray on today. You've got your light gray.
I'm Keith Hernandez.
Every time we ring the bell, a blogger somewhere plays a power chord and gets his or her wings, I guess.
All right, well, let's get into the week in blogging. Last week, we shared the story of Vernon Wells insulting a heckler by giving him an autographed baseball titled, "Hey, Mr. Dork." Well, this week, King Griffey Jr. went and one-upped it, thanks to the site The Jaunt. They bring us the story of a Dodgers heckler who has given Griffey Jr. the business all night long. You know, shouldn't you be on the disabled list? You can't play center field anymore. Well, Griffey heard all that, soaked it in, then came out from the clubhouse between innings and threw a brown paper bag at this guy up there in the front row. Yeah. And the brown paper bag contained Griffey's jockstrap.
A large jockstrap. I thought it was a very generous gift of him.
What's funny is the heckler seemed overjoyed to be holding this used jockstrap in his bare hands.
Well, I mean, it's like a way to kind of touch the celebrity, I guess, right?
And there's more photos on the MySpace page of the heckler, but you can find it all at the-jaunt.com.
Yeah, and I guess speaking of jockstraps, it was a big week for jockstrap stories, and I guess Deadspin found on eBay, on the eBays, that there was Brian Urlacher's jockstrap for sale.
Dirty.
Yeah, and I guess, I mean, what was interesting about it was that it was in used condition. It had a tear in the back from use, I guess. I mean,
that's disgusting.
Seriously, how would you like to come down on Christmas and see that, like, package underneath?
But it was from Super Bowl 41. This is game-worn jockstrap.
You missed my package joke also.
Oh, they fly right over my head, Steins. They're so witty. Always right on time. All right, well, speaking of keeping your groin in check, Michael Jordan was out clubbing this weekend. And, you know, Michael and Juanita, his longtime wife, Juanita, they got a divorce. Well, this little item showed up in the New York Daily News. Apparently, MJ was hitting on a 23-year-old model, except he was not going by MJ.
Or Michael, even.
His introduction to her was, quote, "Hi, who are you? I'm Leroy."
Right.
And this showed up on thebiglead.com.
Are you sure that was Leroy and not Leroy?
It might have been Leroy.
Yeah. Anyhow, Big Daddy Drew from Kissing Susie Colbert gave us some ideas for other, I guess, names that Michael Jordan might go by out in the club scene. For example, Mrs. Kevin Bacon. No?
From the Haynes commercial, I guess, who's in Kevin Bacon?
Abe Lucifer Poland.
That's a pretty good one.
From his rivalry, right?
DC, yeah.
The late Jerry Krause, perhaps, or even Reinsdorfer. And one name that he never uses, of course, is Kwame Brown. And I guess I'm curious, if you were out clubbing yourself and you wanted to kind of go by a fake name,
well,
you have any
other
ideas?
than Dan Steinberg?
Other than Dan Steinberg.
I would go by the highly professional Russ Thaler. I think women would like that quite a bit. Or Steve Buckhantz, the lady killer Steve Buckhantz. Dagger. Okay. It's dirty.
And I guess speaking of strange names, I wanted to talk about one more strange name story from Every Day Should Be Saturday, a college football blog.
I love it.
And there's a linebacker prospect, a guy I've never personally heard of before, from the Houston.
Probably because he's in high school.
Well, yeah, from the Houston area, and his name is actually Weekend Fur, and I don't know how to pronounce his last name, Saret, perhaps.
Weekend Fur. That's pretty common first name.
I don't really know what that means, but this item was picked up by the Name of the Year blog, which we've discussed before on the show, and the Name of the Year blog is kind of desperate to find out the origins of this name. I don't know the origins myself, but I would kind of assume that maybe Weekend Fur was conceived on a weekend. You know, I actually went to school with a girl named Verlet. Have I ever told you about her before?
No, you never told me about Verlet.
Verlet, yeah, because she was conceived in a Chevrolet. So I'm thinking that Weekend Fur must have come from...
Is that a true story, Dan?
Completely true, yeah.
Wow. You heard it here on Blog Show. Okay, speaking of odd names, one of our favorite sites out there is joesportsfan.com. They came up with the ultimate media machine by combining Tiki Barbaro into a centaur named Tiki Barbaro. You've got the star power of the horse that won last year's Kentucky Derby, and then the media savviness of the guy who used to run the ball for the Giants.
Yeah, they said that we needed a superhero nowadays, and I guess my favorite description was half Pro Bowl football player, half Grade 1 stakes winner. And with the Preakness coming up, you know, it's a great time to think back to last year.
What would make the ultimate blogging machine?
Blogging machine?
Yeah, if you were to combine attributes and qualities.
Based on what I've seen, you need these little kind of weird
waffle
textured,
shirts. That's what they're called. Yeah, Urban Outfitters.
Yeah, sweatpants probably.
Nice. You need a high-speed connection in your mother's basement.
Yeah.
Among other things. But moving on, the story of the week in the blogosphere, I think, at least the story for me was my favorite one, was the wedding photos from A.J. Hawk's wedding to Brady Quinn's sister surfaced online. The whole album. And this was dug up by thebiglead.com once again. What really made them unbelievable is that Brady Quinn has just stepped his game up. Every week, we don't think that he can outdo himself with these silly photos that surface on the internet. Last week, it was him kind of holding the crotches of his male friends. This week, it's him dressed up as a member of the Village People at his buddy AJ's wedding.
Yeah, and we were actually talking about this earlier, and you sort of said that when you hear the name Brady and it's associated with an NFL quarterback now, you think Brady Quinn before you think Tom Brady.
Tom Brady is so 5 minutes ago.
That's true. And that smile, he's always got that kind of really uncomfortable smile. It kind of makes me feel...
He's a male model, Dan.
Well... Makes me feel funny is all I'm saying. And I guess every day should be Saturday if we could mention once again kind of pasted the Hello Kitty images and the My Little Pony images.
They did a Photoshop job, yeah.
Yeah, some of this makes me a little bit leery, actually. I think the sports blogosphere kind of tends a little bit towards homophobia sometimes.
You think?
Speaking of which, I guess, Carson Palmer...
I think so does the city of Cleveland, so Brady Quinn better look out.
I don't know. This Carson Palmer poster, you saw this, I imagine? This was on Fan House. Carson Palmer posed with the large kind of hot dog, I guess.
He did that ad for smoked sausages.
Sausages.
The phallic symbology was just off the charts.
And when I think of Carson hanging out with hot dogs, I usually think Chad Johnson, not the actual hot. Well, I've got another one, too.
That was one of those so bad it's good jokes,
No, here's another one. Here's another one. Ready?
And I even got it this time.
I had one that kind of was trying to like draw cufflinks and like links, like sausage links together, but
I'm glad you didn't bring that one up on air.
Yeah, I got it.
All right, well, in other news, a quarterback that is doing pretty well for himself is Tony Romo. There's been a lot of rumors spread of like wildfire across the blogging community that he's been dating former American Idol Carrie Underwood. Well, they made their public debut, so to speak, their coming out party on the red carpet at the Country Music Awards. I don't know why I'm ringing the bell. The Country Music Awards isn't a site. But they're in Las Vegas, and the site idon'tlikeyouinthatway.com was there and caught the photos.
Right.
They're a startling couple.
Total cheap shot by that site, also calling her Yoko Underwood.
Yoko Underwood.
Yeah.
I like the Romo Wood, combining them into one name. It's
Romo
very celebrity gossip. Anyways, idon'tlikeyouinthatway.com is actually the site that was formerly famed for all those naughty photos of Antonella, the American Idol who got booted earlier in the season. And I saw on your DC sports blog there was quite a American Idol post in comparison today.
Yeah, I actually got really passionate about something. I think that was yesterday, actually. But I really got passionate because I think that Melinda Doolittle is the San Antonio Spurs. She's just too professional. She's just kind of too perfect, and you really don't care about her, and she deserved to go for that reason. Because you have to entertain us if you want to be a successful Idol candidate or if you want to be a successful NBA team. So bear that in mind, please.
But the Spurs don't look anything like Shrek.
Well, that was another cheap shot.
Cheap shot?
Speaking of cheap shots, and speaking of the Spurs, I guess, Howie the Hype Guy on a Fan House was kind of designing some T-shirts as he is wont to do, and he has a Boom Boom Diaw T-shirt in honor of Boris Diaw. I'll get back to my T-shirt in a little bit, but Miss Gossip, another Fan House blogger, kind of said in advance that she made a poster featuring this image of Boris, and she had her poster that said,
beat San Antonio.
Free Boris, free Boom Boom Diaw, and she said she was going to get on TNT's broadcast, and sure enough,
there she was.
There she was.
You can see the full clip on Fan House. It's only like 7 seconds long. You can watch it right now.
It was very exciting.
And she looks good. Everybody talks about bloggers, not being handsome individuals. Well, the few females that are out there, not too bad.
Let's be honest, most bloggers, not a good scene. Anyhow, my only point was I ordered this T-shirt from the Hype's website, and I was thinking, maybe someone will put me on television now.
Well, the good thing about the NBA playoffs, the only good thing still going is that Spurs-Suns series. And after the big event of the week, when Robert Horry, checked Steve Nash into the scores table, that was all the ramifications of the week with Amare and Boris getting bounced for Game 5. Well, right after that happened, just moments after, Craig Sager interviewed Steve Nash and asked him about it, and Steve Nash had this to say.
It looked like you wanted to go after him.
Well, I've been working on the guns a little bit, so a couple combos might have landed some points to the body.
And when I hear NBA players and guns, I usually think Steven Jackson, not Steve Nash.
Rim shot. With those drumsticks, you really need a kit.
For the record, these are actually knitting needles, not drumsticks.
Yeah, we have a low budget here on Blog Show. All right, let's get to some random visuals from the week that was withleather.com, one of our favorite sites. We mention them every week. That's because they bring the goodness. This week, it was all about the video. And here's a pair of redneck golfers doing something that is ill-advised.
I would have totally missed the dude. I would have hooked it way left to the guy anyhow.
I can't believe the ball wasn't embedded in there like the shuttlecock in those vitamin water ads.
Yeah.
I mean, lucky it bounced out.
All that kind of it's
a painful video. But With Leather wasn't done there. No. They've got this breakdancing video in Times Square. Look out for the toddler who enters stage left near the end.
Can I speak to my daughter for 1 second?
Yeah,
if my
please.
daughter, Ida, who's like 2.5 months old, is watching, please don't ever get involved with something like that.
That was incredibly poignant, Steins. Wow, way to bring it back to the family. The last random visual for the week comes from bugsandcranks.com, a baseball blog. They just posted a picture of Antonio Alfonseca, formerly known for having 6 fingers on each hand.
Right.
Now he's also known for having a large size
extremity
pot belly.
Yeah.
They're trying to guess what was in there.
Right.
Did you have any?
Well, I thought it was pretty funny. The 22-pound tumor, perhaps. A fully digested.
That's hilarious.
A fully digested Vern Troyer, perhaps. Or Alphonse Seiko's earned run average, maybe he was hiding in there.
A Bud Light party ball.
Bud Light party ball.
He could play on the Nationals. He fit right in with the fat guys in the Nats lineup.
I thought maybe Ken Griffey's jock was in there somehow.
You don't like you want to make fun of the Nats fatties because you got to go to the locker room and actually talk to those guys.
I just don't think they're all that fat in the grand
There's
scheme
like
of things.
6 or 7 of them pretty fat.
Chubby.
They're professional athletes.
Chubby.
All right, moving on. Before we get to my YouTube of the week, Dan, what's your artisanal cheese of the
I'm going
week?
to keep it local, and I'm going to actually talk about a cheese that I visited the farm. It's from Chapel's Creamery out on the Eastern Shore in Talbot County. It's a cheese called Chapelle, which is aged in caves. You would love it.
What does that have to do with the subject matter from this week? Normally you tie it all in together.
I know. I was kind of pressed for time this week.
Last week was drunken goat cheese.
In case we get fired, I wanted to make sure I mentioned Holly Foster's cheese before that happened.
Well, there's no way we're getting fired. Come back next Friday at 6 p.m. here on Comcast Sportsnet as part of Washington Post Live for what will this be, our 10th blog show? That's
Our
some type
10th
of
show.
watermark. Yes, our
That was a
10th
good
blog show.
Yeah.
See what T-shirts we're wearing. I'm Keith Hernandez this week. Who knows what it'll be next week. But before you go, here's the YouTube clip of the week also from withleather.com. This is a dog race where you'll see something that you'll certainly not see at all at the Preakness tomorrow.
Around the opening turn, off trouble there in 5, Cool Tiger, left in front of trap number 6, So Perfect. Then comes trap number 4, Talon, down the far side. It's 5, Cool Tiger leads, 6, So Perfect in chase. Number 3 is in the middle of the track. We could have a trouble here. Out front though, it's number 5, Cool Tiger, leads from 6, So Perfect to close the gap. Around the final turn, number 3 is going to jump onto the track. Don't get alarmed. It's number 5 though, Cool Tiger leads up the line. 6, So Perfect in second, but 5, Cool Tiger goes on to score. Second is number 6, So Perfect.
Blog Show Wardrobe provided by the Hype Guy, and I'm KeithHernandez.com.
Blog Show. And you can find all sorts of this kind of stuff on the DC Sports blog at the URL you see right there. That's Dan Steinberg. Jamie Mottram's personal blog is MrIrrelevant.com. We'll be right back with more on Washington Post Live after this.